Do you crash a lot? Wondering which are the toughest handguards for dirt bikes? Cyra, Barkbusters and Enduro Engineering are often rated as among the best. We asked Chuck Harder to put them to the test. Who is Chuck Harder? I'm glad you asked.
Chuck Harder! Chuck Harder! Chuck Harder!
Chuck is a professional motorbike mechanic who is posting heaps of mechanical tips on his True Tech social media. Take it away, Chuck.
Although the debate for what the best set of handguards is definitely less than objective, we can certainly test what the toughest ones are. Here I've got 3 of the top contenders: Cyra, Barkbusters, and Enduro Engineering. So I've got this handguard mounted up in the vise at the place where it actually mounts on the bike, and I've just got this scale here, and I've got this strap, and I'm going to exert force until I feel it bend. Testing with the Cyras. Okay, they just bent. Now if you notice, the needle went around and then it stopped about here, even though I kept exerting force. So it was just shy of 80 pounds that the Cyras were able to withstand. Right now I've got the Enduro Engineering ones mounted up. We'll see how they do. There we go. I can actually see that the paint is rippling here where the bend is. So there's really only about a 5-pound difference between the Cyras and the Enduro Engineering ones. Let's see how the Barkbusters do. All right, Barkbusters mounted up. Oh, there we go, they bent. So that's actually pretty surprising to me. They all bent at almost the same weight. So now let's look at where they bent. So if you compare these two, this is the one that I bent, and you can see that this one's bent in here, whereas this one's bent out. So this is the failure point. This Enduro Engineering one bent at a similar place right here, but the Barkbuster one, no bends here whatsoever. So if you compare, this is a good one. This is the one that I just bent. This radius is just a little bit tighter than this one. So this is my bike here, and you can see which ones I've chosen. And you can see that this is pulling out here a little bit because it's taken hits here. So what I'm seeing here is that it takes a hit this way and it bends, and then this part is flexing back, and that's why this is pulling out a little bit. However, it does seem quite obvious that taking hits directly from the front, like if you're hitting a tree, anywhere over here, the Barkbusters are going to be stronger than the other ones. I'm also running these Emperor Racing bar mounts because I don't want my Barkbuster assembly to pivot like this or to swivel. I think these are actually one of the most important components, because if the handguards are mounted here like they traditionally are, and then you take a hit and this gets bent down, you can end up breaking your front brake line, or on this side you can break your clutch line, and I have done that. So I think this style mount might actually be the most important part. So as usual, there are more variables that definitely could be tested. This is not complete. I know which Barkbusters I'm going to be running, and hopefully the little bit of information that we've gained from this test will help you decide on what you want to run.
As Chuck says, this is not necessarily the definitive test, but we reckon it's a good start. Thinking of buying some handguards? Remember, we have a video covering the 3 main types and which might suit you, and we also look at whether there is much risk of breaking your wrists with full wraparound handguards if you go over the handlebars. What is your personal experience with handguards? The strongest? The weakest? Do you think Chuck should run other types of stress tests on handguards? Let us know in the comments.